She walks in loud like a thunderstorm, debunking myths with style and form. True crime, conspiracies, her game. Melissa Jade, remember her name. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Microphone fierce like a roaring lion, unveiling secrets people been hiding. True crime queen of the digital scene, Melissa's got you hooked on her screen. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Murders to cover-ups, nothing misses. Melissa's here to share her guesses. She's got theories big and bold, no stone unturned, no case cold. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. From murders to cover-ups, nothing misses. Melissa's here to share her guesses. She's got theories big and bold, no stone unturned, no case cold. She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame. 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 She's loud, feisty, spilling tea, diving deep into mystery, breaking down your wildest claims. Melissa Jade, she's got no shame.
Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Hi, Samantha, J13, Harlot, Nightbot. I haven't seen Nightbot. Coffee and Skeletons. Pat, hi. Oh my goodness. Carolyn Coops, C. Carter, Michelle L. Mama Silk, Bree, Kelly, Midnight Lace, Julie A. I hope your move has been going superb. I hope it wasn't like mine. Mine threw me out for a loop, like clearly, because I haven't been normal since my move. Welcome, Colby. We're happy to have you here. Right? I even missed Nightbot. Like, what's up with that? We were supposed to be joined by the lovely Chapin, obviously, because we can't do Idaho without Chapin, but her little is sick, so definitely well wishes for her little to get better quickly. And I'm obviously going to wait to do all the interviews with her, but we're going to go through at least one of the interviews tonight because I can't wait. And there was no way I was going to cancel this live. Hey, Jean Lasker, MJ, have a good stream. Still bagel is. Thank you so much. I am so sorry. If I could eat you a bagel right now, I would. Right. I'm telling you, J13, the moves suck. I swear I haven't been normal since my move. But I've missed you guys so much, and we're back, and I'm so happy to be back. How is everyone? Is everyone doing good? Hi, Marie Joey. Tell me, what have I missed? Everything. It feels like it's been a year, honestly. It's 3 years. I never want to move again, but like eventually I'll have to, but I wish I didn't. I'm so excited to see you, Coffee and Skeletons. Is there any other type, Michelle L? There's only New York bagels. You know what? I've got 3 new recipes to try this week. Chicken enchiladas that I stole Dietz's recipe for, so I'm really excited. And this, I don't know. Like, I don't know about you guys. In my shorts, a bunch of awesome recipes that they make within a minute come up. And it was like this cheeseburger hot pocket, but not like a hot pocket, like a legit, like homemade with dough hot pot. Like, and it looks bomb. And then like a kickin' mac and cheese. So I'm trying 3 new recipes this week. Yeah, Kelly, yes. She mentioned making enchiladas. I was like, can you share the recipe? And she did. And it is green chili chicken enchiladas. And I'm really excited to try it. I'm really, really excited to try it. Oh my goodness. How many of you guys, there has been so much that we have to catch up on, not just with Idaho. Like we still have Wade emails to go through, Tisha content, and a bunch of current. Have you guys seen this? I forgot her name, but the girl who smothered her, gave birth and like smothered her baby. Because I was watching it last night. And I'm like, this is horrible. I don't know who's Lori. And can she share her green chili chicken recipe also? Yeah, the cheerleader harlot. I saw that yesterday. And so I started watching, I think it was Hidden True Crime. I was watching a video on it. And I'm like, she gave birth, concealed her pregnancy. She had texted her roommates the next morning and was like, oh, sorry for the noise. I passed out because I hadn't eaten. I don't know if she was claiming she was drinking or something, but the roommates went and investigated, and this precious newborn boy was wrapped up in like a trash bag with evidence of giving birth. And she, like, what is wrong with, like, I don't understand. Yes, Lakin. That was her name, Lakin. Oh, Lori Daybell, does she have an enchilada? Oh no. Julie, so many. And I am curious, like, and when I say this, it's not making an excuse versus, because it seems like such a simple solution. There's so many simple solutions that don't result in taking the life of your unborn child or freshly born child. But I don't know if your brain's not fully, well, we know your brain's not fully developed, but like, I can't understand what sense you would even make, how you thought you'd get away with it, why you would be okay with it. I don't. Yeah, she was Harley. You're right. Hi, Gidget. Oh my goodness. It's so good to see all of you guys. Hey, I saw that Chad Daybell spoke out. I've never had shepherd's pie, Samantha. Hi, Nicole B. I've never had shepherd's pie. I think I know what shepherd's pie is. It's the beef and the mashed potatoes and something else, maybe peas. Yeah, they have so many safe, but like I think it kind of full. I don't know. I don't know. I can't understand it. Do you, Harlot? I've never had shepherd's pie. Blame it on my mama. Never. I don't like peas though. I don't like peas, so I don't know if that's like a no-go. But I can't think about shepherd's pie without Bonnie from Wade Wilson. Remember, she was cooking her mama shepherd's pie. You love shepherd's pie? I like chopped beef, and I like mashed potatoes, and I like crust. I don't know what to call it. Like puff pastry crust. I've had like a chicken pot pie before, and I love to pick off the top and leave the rest. Yeah, Bonnie. I like it just with hamburger, corn, and mashed potatoes. That's how. Oh, I'd love it with corn. Corn is the shit. Make it with extra veggies like peas and carrots and duck sauce. Okay. See that this chopped beef like burger thing I got puff pastry, and then you saute onions, then the burger meat with like equal parts ketchup, Dijon mustard, Worcestershire, however you say it, sauce, and then put it in with like Colby Jack and like sharp cheddar, wrap it in the puff pastry, butter it with Italian seasoning. No Italian seasoning, just butter it with sesame seeds up top. And then you make a sauce with like mayo, Dijon, ketchup, relish, and then you dip it in. That's what I saw. I don't know. I saw a video. I saw a 1-minute video and I'm like, I got to try that. It looked so good. So good. Hi, YouTube bad actors. Welcome. Like a beef stew type sauce? Yeah. I do too, Marie Jo. I don't know. I'm not big on carrots. Like I like hard carrots, like uncooked carrots, and I like carrots in chicken noodle soup, but I don't like necessarily carrots like as a vegetable to eat with my dinner. But okay. All right. Now that we've gotten our food discussion out of the way, let me pull up. It has been so long. My goodness. So here is our missing child for tonight's live stream. Hi, Tracy. I've never had Jersey pizza, Jonathan, just New York. So here is Carly Elizabeth Tillery. Look at her eyelashes. She is so adorable. Carly has been missing since March 7th, 2025, out of Jacksonville, Florida. She is 6 years old. It says both photos shown are of Carly, and she may be in the company of her mother. So we have an additional photo. Oh my goodness, look at her. Look how big that hat is compared to her. Oh my goodness. So if you or anyone who knows information on Carly's whereabouts, please contact the Jacksonville Police Department at 1-904-630-0500. Oh my God, that hat is like eating her. She's so tiny. But her eyelashes, look at the eyelashes. Wow. What a cutie patootie. Okay. All right. So there's been a few interviews that have been released now since I've been MIA. And like I said, I wish Shay was here. I hate going through this without her, but we're just going to go through one of them right now. And obviously I want to go for Hunter Johnson because it has been really hard to avoid watching videos about this because it's everywhere, obviously. So how many of you guys put a S in the chat if you watched this first November 13th interview with Hunter Johnson? Now I heard that there's like a lot of redactions, which, you know, part of me understands, but at the same time, if it's all redacted, I don't know how much information we're going to get. But the first thing that caught my eye is I was like 16 minutes. Like, unless there's a longer version out there that I'm not aware of, 16 minutes. How would one of the first interviews taken be only 16 minutes long? Like, that makes no sense to me. You watched it, BB Lee? Oh, no. Nobody's watched. Oh, my goodness. Well, let's do it together, shall we? Wow. Okay. Well, it's only 16 minutes long, and I'm really curious. Now I'm going to play this from Plunder because why not? I'm going to play it from Plunder. So I'll drop Plunder's link. But I know that there's one with Dylan also out. There's the only version I've seen out there. Yeah, it's 16 minutes. You saw it, YouTube Bad Actors? You haven't seen it? Wow, majority of you haven't seen it. Okay, so I'm going to drop this as Plunder. Is BK's damn sicko. He's had so many selfies. That's what Harlot, that's what I saw. And I was so confused because I'm like, 5 minutes. Like, I don't understand what's happening here. Why these can't possibly be the full interviews. That's why I was curious for anybody who's watched it. Is this a full interview or is it just like a portion that was released? Because I cannot imagine there's a 5-minute interview and a 16-minute interview. That makes no sense. They can speak now, C. Carter. They can speak now. And I was just thinking about this earlier because if anybody remembers like Justin and stuff, the horrific narratives that was being pushed out. But where are you now? You know, the narrative that Justin pushed about Dylan, where are you now? But 5 and 16 minutes, yeah. She had a lot of interviews, but they would have been asking her to 5 minutes is not possible. You haven't seen any of them? Like 5 minutes is literally the intro. We spoke about food for 15 minutes already. You know what I mean? Think about it like that. The narrative, BB Lee, one of the narratives with Justin was that, and again, this is not true. This was just misinformation that often happens in true crime cases, but well, I should say it's disinformation. He was pushing that Dylan was trans and that Xana and Ethan, Xana was Ethan's, what was it called? There's a word for it. I forgot the name of the word, but basically their relationship wasn't legitimate, that Ethan's really gay and Xana was pretending to date him to kind of cover up being gay, and that there's this whole big conspiracy and cover up and other people who are responsible for the murders, but Dylan tried to speak out and was beaten up. It was crazy. It was just so crazy. Hi, Tess. A beard. That's what it is. Yes. Thank you. Beard. I've only watched Bethany and Dylan so far. I haven't been keeping up with this. Okay. Yes. Oh my God. Good. Well, not good, but I like watching it together. Hi, Prop Grandma. They should be sued, YouTube bad actors. They 100%, they like the court and the legal system hasn't caught up with the internet yet. Like we have broken into new territory, in my opinion, with true crime. And what's amazing, and I've said it many times, what's amazing about having a channel and having the ability to be on social media is that there's nothing holding you back, right? You're not bound by the same restrictions that mainstream media has. You don't have the same laws necessarily. And at the same time, with saying that, what is horrible about having a channel on social media is you're not bound. You know, it's a double-edged sword there. It is both amazing, yet at the same time, people have the ability to really put out misinformation and disinformation and create horrific narratives around these true crime cases without being held accountable. And it's scary because I've seen some crazy stuff happening surrounding these true crime cases. Thank you, Proud Grandma of Two, for being a member for 8 months. Love it here. Thank you. So I just miss you guys all so much. Thank you. Who the fuck is Justin? Justin was very much prominent and around at the beginning of this case as it was all unfolding. And he was, posting videos and was very, very much, listen, people wanted there to be a conspiracy with this case from day one. And in one breath, I don't blame them because there was a lot of secrecy and there was a lot of silence and things that didn't make sense. But at the same time, it went off the deep end with just people pushing all of these crazy narratives. And because so many people desperately wanted an answer and didn't have the answer, they were willing to accept nonsense. Thank you, Carolyn Cooper, for 10 months. We missed you so. I've missed you guys more. You have no idea. I don't know if Lipstick Justin, I don't know if that's the same Justin. I'm not sure. 16 months and thank you, Julie. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So this is the Hunter Johnson interview from the 13th. It's the first person to discover the Idaho victims, as Plunder puts in her title. I do not know, like I said, why this is only 16 minutes, but I imagine this is the very first interview after they were all outside of the house for that period of time. Now that they've been transported back to the station, this is going to be the first interview. And so let's take a listen.
first name? And what's your middle initial now?
Oh, I understand J13. Okay, so we're going to have a lot of redactions. See, now that is interesting to me. I will say, usually they will make redactions when it's very sensitive information or you're dealing with a minor. Hunter is an adult, but I imagine that they are going out of their way to make redactions given that it's a very high profile case and they're considered victims. But if they're redacting his name, I imagine there's going to be a lot that's redacted.
And what's a good phone number for you? And what's a good address for you?
Oh, J13, what kind? Oh, did you? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know I'm jumping all over the place. Did you guys see the trailer for Ed Gein? We have our Sons of Anarchy star. He looks so much like Ed Gein. Actually, to an extent, as much as they can alter someone's actual face. But I'm like, hot damn. Not as Ed Gein, just hot damn with Charlie Hunnam in general. But I was like, this is going to be good. I hope it's good. It looks good.
Okay. So you do not live at the house, right?
No.
Okay. So what do you got for me? What do you know?
It was like right around noon, just before then, and called my girlfriend that she thought something was not right in her house, and she heard and saw a man in their house last night, and she wanted us to come over to make sure everything was okay, because they just locked themselves in I think is what they said. And so I was the first one to get over there. I left pretty quickly because I just wanted to make sure, and I got over there and I walked up the stairs, and I immediately went into Xana's room, which was the only room I went into. I went up the stairs, saw them. Were pretty uncontrollably crying and didn't know what was going on. Sure. And I told them to get out of the house and call the cops. And I went to the kitchen and grabbed a knife from the drawer because I didn't know if someone was still in the house or not. And I grabbed the knife. It's probably still on the little table they have in the living room area.
And it was, when we went through the photos, we saw the knife that he had grabbed, which I know a lot of people made this big thing, but you could tell the knife was clean. Hi, Allie. Hi. Oh my goodness. I've missed you. But I have to give it to him because I'm listening to his voice and I'm trying to listen for quivering and shaking. And he's doing a pretty good job at keeping it together. Now, again, we do know a decent amount of time passed between when he first found the bodies to when they were actually taken to the station, like a lot of time. But I have a little bit of an issue with how much time was passed, only because we know that they were all grouped together and huddled, and they were conversing and sharing what each one knew. And when I say that, I'm not saying that as in there's a conspiracy happening versus you're not getting the raw information. You're now getting shared information based on what so-and-so told me and what this person saw. And then they're not giving their own accounts versus a combination of all of their accounts.
Downstairs?
Like in the middle, like where the kitchen level, that level.
There's like a little area there.
Yeah, so there's an area, and I put the knife there after, but I grabbed the knife and I went into the room and I checked the closet and everything to make sure there was no one in there, and it didn't seem like anyone was in there.
Interesting, because we know from the photos and the body cam footage that closet, the one that was underneath the staircase on the second floor next to Dylan's room, was open. And I was curious if that was him who opened it, which would make sense, but it was left open.
And then I
Okay, I got a big redaction. No, it seems like they cut it all out.
Okay.
and shoot, I'm forgetting the other guy's name. Sorry, this is just a lot. What's his name? That's his name.
See, I know some people will jump and be like, why is he laughing? I've told you guys before, I'll laugh when I'm uncomfortable, but he's for sure in shock what he just witnessed, what he saw. He absolutely is in shock. And that kind of circles back to when I said I don't hear a quivering or anything in his voice. I don't think it's hit him yet.
They all came into the house. They were coming up the stairs, and I told them, get out. They do not want to come in. They need to get out. And that's when you guys roughly showed up around the scene, was when I told them to get out.
Get out. Okay.
And then one of the policemen came, and I showed him where I saw them, and he just said, stay where you're at. And I said, okay. And I didn't know if there were any more people upstairs. I didn't go up there.
Okay.
The cops came as soon as.
What, did you go to this party last night?
No.
Okay.
I was talking with Ethan. I have a text from him most of the night. We were talking because he wanted me to come, and I didn't really want to walk all the way over there. Yeah.
The text messages, were they just through Messenger, or are they through?
Just, normal message.
Goodbye, Zoe.
You got your phone on you?
No, I didn't go grab it though.
Where is it?
It's just in there.
I'll do that in just a sec. So how do you know Ethan?
I met him during Rush in college. It's where you like try to go into a house.
Is Ethan part of a fraternity? He is. Okay.
Harlow says, I think these are the real lengths of the interviews. They usually show them walking in and out and they're redacting stuff. It'd be weird if they also couldn't be. I agree, but like, and part of me is like, okay, they were extremely overwhelmed, and because think about the large group of kids that were there that were transported to the station. Not only that, but parents were starting to arrive already because, again, so much time lapsed with them just sitting outside of the house in that huddle, in that group. I don't know why. And they were probably stretched thin. That's why, because I would have anticipated to see at least 2 detectives in each room. You're dealing with a quadruple homicide. But we don't, which tells me resources were stretched thin. But I know that they're the initial interviews, but like those are the most important. This is where you're going to get the most accurate information, is immediately after. That's the closest you're going to ever get to the truth. This video went viral of this girl who kept laughing at a judge, but I felt she was nervous laughing, not being disrespectful. I feel like you can tell the difference. Like I remember I got into a big debate with people before over Burke Ramsey's interview with Dr. Phil. Yet, when you take also into account the fact that Burke was extremely sheltered majority of his life after the death of John Bonet, you can tell it was uncomfortable after, there's a difference. I feel like it's very easy to discern between the two.
Yeah. And I met him there during Rush, and I've known him ever since the fall of last year.
Okay. Are you in a fraternity now?
I'm a grad student. I don't live in the house anymore, but I was in.
Okay. Is that what they call whatever it was?
Or that's a sorority.
That's a different one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know any of these names.
It's totally okay.
Okay. So, your girlfriend,
Yep.
right? So she gets a call from around noonish.
Yep.
Basically says that there was somebody in the house. She tells you, so you head over to the place.
Yeah, it was on speakerphone, so me all heard it, and
Okay.
we all kind of got up and we're gonna go check on him.
So that's him. There's a bunch of redactions, but for the most part, we know it. It's him, Josie, and Emily that walked over, but Hunter was walking ahead of them, and Emily and Josie were following behind.
The same sorority? Is that how they know each other?
Yeah, they're also roommates.
Okay. And where does he come in? Is he
He's in a different, he's in a fraternity, but he is like seeing right now. So
Okay.
he was just staying, he stayed the night over at their apartment. I stayed there and she stayed there. So I was in her room and he was in her room.
Okay. What time? So,
J13.
I'm trying to figure out who's who now. Did not go to the party last night, right?
See, he even said, I'm trying to figure out who's here now because there were so many of them at the station.
No.
That was the one I'm thinking of. There was another vowel name there that I was getting up. Okay, so you and him go to the party.
No.
You guys hang out.
Definitely are.
Okay. And then other than you walked up the stairs
When I walked into the house and like entered the code to get into the house, they were in, which is on the very bottom floor, like right next to the main
to the front, right?
Yeah. And they heard me come in and they like were like, oh my god, and I was like, it's just.
Wait. Okay, no. See, that's a little detail. So he just explained Dylan and Bethany were in Bethany's room still. And he had to put, so they didn't even come out of the room. And he had to put the code in, which he knew. And he goes in and they heard him come in. And that's when they come out of the room and oh my God. But by the time Emily and Josie get there, because we've heard their account, Dylan and Bethany were already outside waiting with like their arms crossed, like all freaked out. But that's interesting because I didn't realize he went in there when they were still inside. So how far behind was Emily and Josie trailing? Jeez.
What's going on?
Okay.
And that's when I walked upstairs and they're like, we don't know what's going on. And I checked it out. And
how did you get the code to the door?
We just know it because we're all friends.
Okay. When was the last time that you were over at?
The last time before today was yesterday.
Okay. And what were you doing over there yesterday?
We were pre-gaming the football game for the families.
Gotcha. Was Emily there?
No, she was at work at the football game.
Aw, Ellie.
What time did you get to and you guys left at game time, I'm guessing?
What time did we get there?
Yeah.
I would say it was roughly either noon or 1.
Okay.
Like somewhere around there.
And what time did you guys leave?
We left their house and went to a different apartment at the Whites at, I would say roughly like 2:30.
Maisie, I think, and hi, Angel. So there was a black Ford Explorer belonging to Maisie, and I think it was left there. She had left the car there. There was a black SUV. Well, no. 91. Holy moly. I wish. It's going to get super cold here.
Okay.
And then everyone left and there was no one there.
Okay.
We all left together.
So last time you were there was 2:30.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time I was there?
The night before.
Okay.
Like the night before yesterday.
So that would be what, Friday night?
Yes, Friday night.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Crime.
So you walk in the door, and are in the bedroom down the first floor.
Yep.
Obviously, they're kind of freaked out. You see them.
Mm-hmm.
You head upstairs.
Yep.
Hit that open area where the kitchen and all that stuff is.
Yeah, like where the couches are. I walk in and then I look into Xana's room because the door was like somewhat open.
Okay.
And then I like opened it, and then I saw that and I told them to get out and call the cops.
Okay.
Because it seemed because I didn't know what I was seeing. Like the.
Oh, it's all redacted. Hi, Emily Pickles. 91. Wow.
And then I told them to
Get out.
get out.
Right. Anybody that you know that has it out or has a problem with making Ethan and Xana? How long have they been dating? You know? Has it been a minute?
Yeah, they've been dating for a little bit.
Okay.
I want to say they've been dating. They were dating for like, I would say 8 months.
Okay.
Probably.
No problem with Xana's ex or with Ethan have an ex?
He did, but she doesn't
Holy
go
moly.
here.
Okay. So
Have 35
Okay.
months.
I don't know anyone who would have it out for.
how well did you know Xana and, or not Xana, sorry, Maddie and Kaylee?
I knew Xana very well just because we were all friends.
Yep.
Yeah, and we were all friends together, and I've been friends with Xana for a long time.
It's crazy, Tess.
Maddie, I
Right?
like could be acquaintances with. I didn't really like know her that well. I just saw her.
See, that's interesting. I don't know why, like, towards the beginning, we all thought, like, the group was really close, but, like, me and Shay were talking about the last live, like, they weren't all that close. They weren't all super familiar with one another.
At her house every once in a while. I would say hi and have conversations with her.
Okay.
But I didn't really know her super well. Like I knew Ethan and Xana.
Right.
And then Kylie, I didn't know really at all.
Okay. You weren't around to see anything. That's no big deal. Nothing on social media. Nothing's been posted. Nothing's.
Wait, did he called her Kylie?
Well, like I knew Ethan and Xana.
Right.
And then Kylie,
He did. He called her Kylie. So, wow, they really weren't familiar. I don't know why that surprises me so much. But so much to where you're not even that familiar with their names. Kylie? Maybe it's the way he pronounces it. I don't know.
her super well. Like I knew Ethan and Xana.
Right.
And then Kylie, I didn't know really at all.
Okay. You weren't around to see anything. That's no big deal. Nothing on social media. Nothing's been posted. Nothing going on around there.
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm gonna go grab my phone, not my phone, my camera. If I have you grab your phone, so I can grab some pictures of those.
Okay. This is a real box. Letitia Stout had Hot Pockets, Coca-Cola. lounge chairs, and she was the murderer. See? How strange. Maybe midnight lights. That's possible. I think I'm more surprised you didn't know her name, though.
This was the last text from yesterday. He sent this picture to me, and then I asked if you guys are still like, and he said, "Yeah, where you at?"
Okay.
This was.
Can I go back a little bit?
Sure.
Can we go with that? That's the afternoon. So that's him trying to get you to go to the party? Or is that him getting you to
This part right here was to go to the pregame at Xana in their house.
Gotcha.
This was the pregame, and then this was, I was asking about that party that night.
Yeah, sorry. Angel says, and Jack Showalter said he knew Maddie, but not the lady they left the corner club with in his call to law enforcement. Now, we know Kaylee was not there recently. I don't know. Yeah. Like, but, and then I'm thinking back to the body cam footage, and Jack kept to himself. Like, he opted to sit in the cop patrol car. Then the entire group of them huddled together, you know? Kaylee was in a different sorority. That's what Shay was explaining than the other girls. And she was a senior too. They're sophomores. I guess it makes sense. No, I guess it does. I think it's because, you know, when you're following along for years and that's on us, you know, like to make the assumption based on what, but it goes to show you, you know, you can't really observe from the outside. You can't necessarily trust social media and the fact that there might be pictures together. I made the assumption that they were closer than they were.
Right. And I'm just going to grab it.
And use contact info.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you can think of? Anything that maybe talking about over the last couple of weeks that maybe involving them, or?
Anything else? I don't think so. Sorry, but like, you're not going to ask for much more detail because we know now a pulse was checked. You know, like, it's just bizarre to me how quick this is going. Like, any more detail? How about any detail at all? Like, this is the first interview, a quadruple homicide. Give me all the detail. There was no detail. I'm shocked. Probably Tess, yeah. I thought they'd all spent a lot of time together while they were all living in the house together. Right. 3 months is a long time when you spend and maybe the girls were just not the mutual I don't know.
I can't think of anything, honestly.
Okay. Who else? I don't know anybody out there, so it's kind of weird for me to say, hey, I'll just take the next number, you know, starting number 4 now, whatever it is. It's kind of gay. Who else out there should I talk to sooner than others that I didn't get maybe them on their way and go to their?
You already talked to, right? I'm pretty sure someone already talked to
I think
her.
so.
And then I already talked to.
You know, I talked to Dylan.
There's our Ethan's twins.
Okay. And what was the other one? So we got 2. Okay.
Didn't go into the house.
Okay.
I don't think he would be much help, but you could talk to him if you wanted.
Okay.
Also didn't go into the house really. Like, I told them to get out as soon as they got in. Was walking up the stairs when I told her to get out. I'm the only one that I know saw anything.
Okay.
Like, at least
Right.
I don't think them saw it because they were too scared to like go check it out.
Okay. Okay. And I will see
Bendy.
if I can talk to you about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, close friends is relative, especially at that age. Close friends mean something different when you're older, for sure. And again, it's a narrative, I guess, we put on it from being observers, you know, and it goes to show you can't trust everything you see. But I was so shocked when I was watching the body cam footage and I saw Jack completely isolated. Now, whether he self-isolated, you know, obviously what he was experiencing was what they were all experiencing was so traumatic. But I'm like, why would he be alone? And Shay was like, you know, like they weren't all necessarily close. And I don't know why it took me a minute to like process that. But to the point where you're not familiar with the names, you're not familiar identifying Kaylee in the infamous footage, you know, like I told Adam everything. I don't know why I never thought of that. Well, the cop gave him the option, Angel D. The cop, because he forgot about him, but he said you could stay in here or you could go sit with them, the whole group huddling together. And he chose to stay in there, which, to be fair, it could have been another reason why. It could have been, you know, like the trauma he was experiencing, freaking out. Who knows? It was cold. I don't know. But there was like a clear line of demarcation that differentiated him from the group, in my opinion. I don't know, Mama Silk. I said that in the beginning. Usually it's only if it's very sensitive, the victims, minors, that they'll do the redactions. But maybe given that this was such a high profile case, there's already a lot. I think they might just are being precautionary and making redactions. There's also litigation starting, you know, so maybe Nicole, but yeah. Hi, Truth Exposed. Well, Truth, Jack wouldn't have seen anything, you know. Jack had gotten there late, you know, well, not late. He had gotten there pretty early, but like he had gotten there after and had no idea what was going on. Searched Jack and put him in the car, but Nunez didn't even know he was in there. Yeah, he forgot about him, and then he gave him the option. He's like, you could either stay in here or you could go out with them. I know it's cold, but remember, because it was like, did he hear that whole conversation? Because that trunk was open when Dylan was going through what she saw. No, that was a Hunter. That was Kaylee's ex.
Okay. Obviously, if there's anything that comes up, pops up, you know, with it's kind of an event like this that's traumatic, a lot of times things will just kind of get tossed around or whatever. So if something pops up later on down the road, you know, obviously give us a call, give us a shout.
Something pops up.
Regardless of what it is, sometimes you'll just be staring at some french fries and something will come back in.
Okay.
Or obviously if you hear something pops up on social media, then
that's it. I thought, okay, sorry. I thought maybe, because again, you even hear him referencing the large group of young adults out there and families arriving at this point. I thought maybe the preliminary interview, all right, very quickly, let's get everyone's basics and then come back around, like, don't go anywhere, come back around and let's go into more specifics as we have the additional resources. This is like, you can go and down the line, if you think of anything, that is mind-blowing to me. And I'm going to really have an issue when we get to Dylan's next if there is literally a 5-minute interview and for like, I can't. Hi, I have questions. I know. And I remember when we were like, yo, did he, because we all kind of forgot he was sitting in there too. And it was like, oh my God, did he hear all of that? Which that could also be a reason why when he was given the option to get out, if he heard all of that, oh my dear Lord. I'm fragile like a bomb. I've missed you all so much.
call the department, let us know.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Anything else I need to know?
I don't think so.
No way. That's it? I'm trying to listen. Wow. And then I know we have this 5-minute one, but that's not usually how it's handled, Allie, because as quick as you could get the information out, that is when it's most reliable. And we have a quadruple homicide investigation going on, and we've spoken about it before, wish a victim's advocate could be in the room at the same time handling it. But the point is they need to extract this information immediately. And so I know it absolutely lack of resources would have been a huge factor here. But it's not, you could leave and come back, like this is the time that they need to get the crucial pertinent information. They weren't, Angel D, and think about how many were dispatched to the actual scene. Now that this is back, they finally have this large group of young adults back at the station, along with the family starting to show up, not knowing what's going on. Yeah, this is the most important part. They want them to talk right away, and they do not want to give them the opportunity to go and talk amongst themselves and corroborate and make a potential alibi. And when I say that, I'm not specifically referring to them talking in general. You never want to do that. So it's mind-blowing to me that this is how quick it was. Now I'm going to get to Dylan's, but it's 5 minutes. Five minutes. The one who saw, the one who witnessed. Oh yeah, same day, Alex. Ew, I don't call you Alex. Sorry, I read your name. I do not call you Alex. But yeah, same day. Hold on 1 second though, guys, before I start this. 1 second. Okay. It's see what happens when you go at my alley. for 5 minutes. Are you guys ready for this? Oh my goodness. 5 minutes. Eyewitness to the killer. 5 minutes. I'm already pissed about that, but let's see. I'm gonna put closed captions on. Okay.
So I think that somebody might have said something that you said, I think what maybe you was, did you have, or in the recent history, have anybody that you thought might have been stalking you, or that was just acting weird?
No, but me and Ben were talking, remember about a month ago, I think that one of the police officers, that Kaylee was outside taking Murphy out and she saw a shadow.
Yep, okay.
And then when Kaylee was at Winco, Xana was in the car, she noticed this guy was following her. She got what she's getting, put it in the car, and she could see in her mirror that the guy was behind her in the car.
Okay.
So obviously.
Thank you, Bogart, for 14 months, and I've missed you too. Thanks. because cops have a good sense of who's lying from watching it. Well, no, they still have to do their due diligence. I understand what you're saying, Truth Exposed, but I don't agree with that. I think they really were stretched with resources. And if we can see the other side of that door, that there was an overwhelming amount of people there with families coming in, demanding answers that they didn't have. And I think that they were trying to get through this large group of witnesses, potential suspects. I think that's what kind of what's throwing me off the most, though. They're not interviewing as potential suspects at this point when they should have been. But they were probably very, 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 very limited with resources. Yeah, I think it was the following day. But we keep hearing about the stalking and Kaylee seeing a shadow. I don't know how many people are leaning more towards Bryan had been there. And when I say been there, not necessarily inside the house, but Murphy running out into the distance and disappearing for periods at a time. It's making me really consider that he had gone to the property and at least the surrounding area and kind of did some runs.
He was trying to follow her. And then that was about like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then about a week ago, our door is broken, but Maddie and the door is wide open. And like obviously, yes, the door is broken, but that could also be something else as well.
With the front door?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever find the back slider open or anything? Is that usually locked? What's the condition?
I mean, we're pretty good at locking it.
Okay.
I don't think we locked it last night.
And it sounds like the code is fairly well known to the front door by people.
I mean, only people that like know us, like random people would not know, but
Okay.
like.
Right.
Yeah.
Because said he knew it.
Yeah, he does.
Obviously, knew it because it sounded like she was going to move in with you guys, possibly. Doesn't sound like he knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did Kaylee ever say anything or report that weirdness to anybody else other than you guys?
No, because I mean, like, there's like no proof, you know, I can't really do anything about it, and people are just weird sometimes. We didn't, like, obviously we were scared for a little bit. We didn't think much about it after that, because there's nothing really weird after that.
Did she see what kind of car it was that he was driving? Nothing like that?
Mm-hmm.
Where did Kaylee work?
She worked at home for a business, I believe.
Okay.
I can't remember what exactly it is.
So she was just she works from her apartment? From her room? Okay. What about Maddie and Xana? Where did they work?
Maddie and Xana both worked at Mad Creek, and then Maddie also had a paid internship through this business as well.
I think what's confusing me is that background questions are being focused on, context questions, which, don't get me wrong, are equally important, but not priority. That's true, you two bad actors. We have the former roommate that said she didn't feel safe at the house and that's why she moved out. That's a good point. I'm curious. We need to build a timeline of when these alleged incidents were occurring, because everything that Dylan just stated was very recent to the murders. Very recent. That's what I'm saying, Tess. Like, it's the first round of questions and she saw. Now, I guess we do have her initial statement on scene, but this is now a formal sit-down interview properly. And so I don't understand how we're already halfway through it. Right. The intruder, what she witnessed, what she saw, what she heard, what she did after summoning the friends to the resident. You know, I'm just a little blown away right now.
That was all night at home.
And think about it. This one officer, usually think about all the body cam footage or interrogation or interview footage we see, there's always at least two. Always at least two. This one guy is consistently doing the interviews, which tells you like they're not all being interviewed at the same time, making sure that they're not overlapped. Like, no, the one guy, one at a time, is going through them.
Who would know what that business is? How would I be able to figure that out?
You might know.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called. There's like, because they were business majors and through their majors, they were able to get these jobs.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I told me about Kaylee talking about something like that.
Yeah.
And then I heard that it was possibly you. So I just wanted to make sure that I got the right person having those kind of things. Did you hear Murphy barking or doing anything?
Yes, he was barking a lot.
Throughout the night or?
And I heard Kaylee go upstairs, he was barking a lot, and then I could tell that he was outside. I don't know how the police found him because he wasn't in the house.
Okay.
But he has a puppy, he barks, but he was barking a lot if there was someone there.
And that was at 1:32 or was that around
Like
4?
And I think it happened.
And when he was barking, when you first heard him on barking after she was up there playing, did you hear him go outside or did he start outside?
Murphy was with Kaylee when they were like dancing. They walked upstairs, he was still with her. And then when she would yell, someone's here, he started barking in the house. And then I believe
when she was like dancing, see, again, it's what she perceived was Kaylee and Murphy playing upstairs. We now know that was not the case. So I'm curious if she ever knew Murphy to go upstairs with Kaylee, because there's someone here likely came from Xana. Oh, thank you, Fragile Like a Bomb. That's so sweet. Oh.
the slider door was open, and I think he went out that way because I could tell like the sound of his barking was getting like more distant.
Do you think that Murphy would have went after him?
Thank you.
Where he was?
Bro.
Maybe, but I mean, he's a puppy. He doesn't fully know that yet.
No, he would just be, if anything, probably playing with him.
Yeah, I don't know.
When the guy in black left, did he close the slider or did he leave it open?
I don't know. I just ran downstairs.
Perfect. Okay.
They called the ISP first.
Okay. Anything else
Not that I
popped
can
up?
think of. No.
All right. I'm gonna go talk to my guys who've done other interviews
Okay.
and see if anybody's got questions
Questions?
so that we can kind of start.
These are the main people. What do you mean? I'll see if anyone has questions. There, you didn't ask any. Now that she's calmer and she's not on scene shivering barefoot, sit down and talk to her and get as much detail as you possibly can.
Putting more pieces together.
Holy macaroni, that's it. That's it. This is bizarre. This is bizarre. All right. I don't even know. I don't even know. That, again, I know that they were overwhelmed. I know that they were understaffed, under-equipped. But I don't understand why that was being handled like that. She was interviewed multiple times, but again, anybody knows the first initial interview, immediately you talk to a witness, because that is when you are going to get the most reliable information, the most accurate, the most truthful. And the moment, even them being huddled in a group outside for that hour, they're talking amongst one another. It is no longer raw, untainted version. Even if you're intentionally trying to, you can't leave out what Hunter said he saw. Now that you've spoken, you can't. Now it's all tainted. It's not your unbiased, raw, uncut version. It is after speaking amongst one another, trying to put your piece together with my piece. Now it's all becoming mixed together, and that's a concern. They were for sure out of their depth, but at the same time, I did not like how it was handled. Officer Nunez was so good. He really handled it for being nearly the same age as them, and being so new. He did very well done, but seeing how some of the other more experienced officers were handling it, I was shocked. So many, Camo Bro. So many. Hi, Jane Carter. Right, Angel. Like 4 or 5 times. That's what I'm saying. Like, granted, she had the on the scene statement, but that wasn't an interview. That was not a formal interview. This would have been her first interview, which is just mind blowing. So there's also this I wanted to go through quickly, because the infamous footage of Bryan Kohberger at Winco. We now know he had marks on his hand, which we would anticipate, right? We have all these weird, creepy selfies, but we were always wondering, what did he go and buy? Well, now we get to see that footage, that surveillance, and the images.
Begin in Idaho with some shocking surveillance video of Bryan Kohberger. It's video that has been under wraps for almost 3 years. It is early afternoon, November 13th,
Right.
2022. You will probably remember that was a Sunday, and an ordinary college town in Idaho was just waking up to a nightmare that would turn that town, that college, and dozens of families upside down. Moscow, Idaho, and soon the whole world was just learning that a quadruple murder suspect was out there on the loose. And tonight, we can actually see what that murderer, what Bryan Kohberger was doing while on the loose. He was out and about at a Costco and at a coffee shop and at a supermarket the very morning that he slaughtered those 4 kids in their beds. Out and about like he didn't have a care in the world, like it was any other Sunday.
Look at how creepy. Sorry, just his the way he's even standing, holding that bottle of water, talking amongst a Costco former shopper. Didn't wear booties. I remember that, Truth. I do.
Gray Hughes was the first to bring this incredible surveillance footage to light. He hosts the podcast and YouTube channel Gray Hughes Investigates. Gray was also...
Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen Gray without a visor on. For real. I don't know what's more shocking to me. I don't know, Harlan. He's looking a little square. I don't think I've ever seen Mr. Hughes without a visor. That's strange.
The first person to obtain the surviving roommate's 911 call. Welcome back to the program, Gray. It's good to have you. I just want to start by saying I watched your entire episode, and it gave me chills. I wanted to ask you your first thoughts upon seeing these nonchalant actions of this.
I want to see
it was just an ordinary day. There's no way any of those people around would have thought that
Look at him walking in, taking
had
a
any
swig.
part in killing 4 people just about 8 hours prior to that.
What do you think this Costco guy stopped Coberger for? Hey, K-Braze. Yeah, he's got a little gel too. He's got a little, there's something about Mary going on. You know what I mean? Usually they stop you on the way out, or is he asking, excuse me, sir, do you have your Costco card? Yep. Does he have his Costco card? You can't come strolling in here like you're part of the club. If you're not part of the club, this is a very exclusive.
Killing 4 people just about 8 hours prior to that, you know. He walks in there, I mean, he's kind of a clueless type person, though. It's kind of, I mean, it's pretty strange. You would go into a Costco without a card or something and think you can go in and buy a drink.
See, this makes me curious. If he had ever gone into Costco before, he would have known. He just strolled right in there like he owned the place. You can't go to a Costco. You know how high-end Costco is? You can't get into the elite supermarket of Costco without a card. You crazy? But if he had ever gone there prior, he would have known that, which makes me wonder if this was his very first time. And if so, why the day of the murders? You know what I mean? What would make him? Is he intentionally making sure he's seen on footage? Is he intentionally kind of like going out of his way to make these stops? Hi, Neat Noodle. I think he wanted to go to the food section. Some Costco's have that separate. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. To be honest, I've never been to a Costco. Not because I don't want to. I just never been to a Costco before. But I damn know. You know why? You know why I've never been? Because I don't have a damn card. That's why. So even I know my role, Mr. Coberger.
Drink. It almost feels like that's why he was going around to these different places. He went there maybe to get that coffee drink, and then he goes over to Kate's Cup of Joe. We'll probably see her in a minute. And
well, let me take you frame by frame. I want to go in. Great.
Yeah.
I want to go in sequence because you are really, really thorough in how you put this together. So let me start. This is Clarkston, Washington, which is important to say because it's hours after the murder. And Clarkston is 33 miles south of Pullman and Moscow. It's about a 40-minute drive. So he's a long way away from where these murders took place. But the first video I want to show is when he did that walk into Costco. I want to play it again because there's something significant. He gets stopped. And I think what we've all kind of figured out here is that the greeter, he's about to walk right by the greeter, and the greeter says, "Give me your card, your membership, and take me from there."
Yeah.
Sorry, you get carded at Costco more seriously than you get carded at a bar. I don't know if he's balding, but he's definitely turning into a Roblox character a bit.
Yeah, and he just sort of stands there. He probably sounds similar to when he was talking.
He's got an undershirt
the police
on.
officer, the female police officer, when he was pulled over. It's interesting how he was holding his left hand when he came in. It was kind of oddly, shaped, and that's the hand that has the Band-Aid on it, right? So maybe he was trying to hide that hand a little extra. I mean, you can kind of see, look how he's moving in.
What is it?
See how it's kind of like, it's not really that natural.
Tuck in that. That is sloppy, sir. You need to tuck in your tail, your front tail.
Holding right there. See that? Very kind of strange. He doesn't sort of
pockets out,
relax next to him. It's sort of a weird shape. And now he puts it in his pocket. I don't know if he just does that or he doesn't want somebody to notice his hand. But he's just probably coming up with excuses like, "Hey, we don't have Costco's in Pennsylvania, so maybe I thought I could just come in and buy a coffee or something." I mean,
well,
I don't know.
We
don't know what he's saying.
Maybe, maybe this is the only essence of a conscience that he might have, is that he's feeling the pain of the cut on that left finger that's bandaged, and maybe
feeling the pain. Ashley, his hand being in his pocket isn't from a conscience and feeling the pain. It would be intentionally trying to cover it up so that his interactions, listen, as dumb as Bryan was, there's also the argument that he was educated and smart in this field. And he would have known any interactions he had on the same day of the murders if he had any marks to cover it up. Not because, I got boo-boo and I need to put hand in my pocket. How does that even aid in the pain?
He is, subconsciously hiding it because it's the only sign of what he's just done a mere 8 hours before this video was taken. I want to show him after he leaves this Costco and is basically rebuked by the greeter because he doesn't have a membership, or at least a card. He walks out, and this is the white Elantra. He's driving that now infamous white Elantra out of the Costco parking lot. This is 12:37 p.m., which is such a significant time because, Gray, this is 39 minutes since the initial 911 call came in to the police about what was found in that house.
It's always interesting to have those juxtaposition of different timeframes like that. You know, there's people, you know, in a completely different place that are just
Why is
now
this
horrified
Charlotte so
by what he did, and he's
short
casually
in the front?
walking around doing things that normal people do, and he knows while
And
driving
driving.
around that he's killed 4 people. You know, it's crazy.
And we talked at length after this
He
day
didn't even slow
about,
for that
you know,
bump.
a white Elantra. We're on
I don't
the
know
hunt
about
for-
y'all, but my suspension could never. I brace for fucking impact. Even when I go near a pothole, I'm like, he didn't even yield. He didn't even yield.
white Elantra, and there it was that morning driving
Yeah.
past Costco.
Rebuked.
Also, just want to mention that this is also the
my
moment,
poor
Gray,
person.
where police are at the house and they are questioning roommates who are so shaken they can barely stand, and they're in the cold, in their, you know, almost pajamas and shorts and t-shirts, trying to answer the questions of the police. They don't even know that Kaylee and Maddie are dead on the 3rd floor at this point. They don't even know that Xana and Ethan are dead. They just know something terrible has happened. I want to go to your next video, and it's just as he
Please
leaves that
do.
Costco parking lot, and he heads past a place called Kate's Cup of Joe. Can you walk me through this next video and what you saw,
right,
where
what
the
do we
Elantra
got?
passes by the coffee shop, and point out where it is on
Yeah.
the screen?
Really?
Yeah, the
needs to
coffee
point
shop
it
was
out.
just prior to that. So if you have to scroll back, he drove right through the actual driveway of the sort of a little miniature coffee shop, and then he does a U-turn, and you can just see,
Oh,
look
he
how
loves
slow
those
he's
U-turns.
moving around. You'll see it again here in a second. See that little building?
Yeah, I think he didn't know necessarily where he was going. I just think he knew he needed to go out in public and he needed to be seen. And after being yeeted by and rebuked by the Costco card guy, I think he's probably just strolling, determining what he should do. He probably didn't, out of everything he planned out, there are probably little simple things he didn't bother to think of, like this.
Right there in the upper right-hand corner with the roof on it, that's the coffee shop, Kate's Cup of Joe. The camera is coming from the chef store, and I'm the one that's zooming it around, just making it a little bit clearer. So you're just following the Elantra, and it comes in, and then it actually stops in the parking lot for a little bit. Now, I don't know if he's waiting in line to pull out onto the road, but he just kind of hangs out there for a while. And it seems like
So
maybe
this is,
Kate's Cup of Joe was closed, and he's just looking for coffee.
I checked.
You know?
I actually checked because I wondered the same thing. And so the team, the Banfield team, checked and found out that Kate's Cup of Joe is open on Sundays from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And so he's there, and it's after 12:30 in the afternoon. In fact, this is a half-mile away from the Costco where he just left the parking lot.
Yeah,
And
he's
it's a
just
3-minute
cruising.
drive by car. So if he left the Costco at
Yeah.
12:37, it's now 12:40, and this is when he's
Very
driving by.
good,
So Kate's
actually.
Cup of Joe is open. It's sort of odd that he passes
Yeah.
by,
That is
given
weird, huh?
where he's about to head next. And before we head next,
Not really odd if you think he's just intentionally trying to get on these cameras, be seen publicly, acting normal, dressed normal, normal for him, swigging his water, you know. Yeah, the Banfield team. He looks very disheveled. Very disheveled.
do show this part as the car drives to the right-hand side of the screen. It's just almost out of frame, but you're right. It does stop. And I think it stops for like, what, a minute or so?
Yeah, it just kind of sits there and then eventually pulls out and turns left, and you can really watch it all the way around, even on the curve. If you just keep watching in the distance, where it's heading to the next place, Albertson's. But, you know, I don't know what he's doing all these different times where he stops, you know, even when he, I guess even later when he leaves Albertson's, he sits in his car again for 5 minutes before driving away. So he does these.
So this is the video where the Elantra is going to come to a stop on the far right-hand side of the screen. almost in the middle of the parking lot, and it just doesn't move. Well, unfortunately we've cut the video there, but I can just promise you that what Gray showed us was that Elantra stops, and it's hard to tell, but it doesn't look like it's waiting for traffic. It just looks like it might be grabbing a phone call or maybe a text. And Gray, it was important because we know now he heads to an Albertsons, which is not very far away. It's like right next to the Costco. So here's the white Elantra coming into the Albertsons. So he's driven far away. So, he's driven 3 minutes by car, a half mile away to the Kates. And then he's driven back to this Albertsons and he's into this parking lot.
Yeah, and then he's going to pull in next to a dark truck, and you can follow him all the way in.
The timestamp is at the, it's at the top left. It's in white. It's underneath the title though right now. But when I play it, Harlot, it's right itty bitty up here at the top left.
After this video that I made, I actually edited another version where, it's sequenced. So
Samantha,
the timing inside the building is matched up with the timing of the car parking and then walking in. So it just looks like an actual, like a video, a film where it cuts to the next camera right when it's supposed to. But he parks right over there.
Oh, it may not have
if you
been.
watch it, I don't know if it keeps playing, but he parks next to a truck and then gets out.
Unfortunately, we've shown these two views of the white Elantra coming in, but what he does is he drives to the left-hand side of the screen and he parks way over in that left upper hand corner. Let's roll the next video where he's now walking from his car and into the Albertsons, because of course what we're all watching for is trying to get a close-up look of his face, which is coming, just not right now. And I remembered, Gray, you were looking at this the first time and you weren't sure if it was him, but now, as you said, you sequenced, right?
Yeah, and then I was able to kind of tell, because with the dark pants and the shirt, that it was him. Later, I did another live stream after that, but yeah, you can see him turn in, and then right there, you pick it up on the next camera as he's coming in. There's a lot of, overlapping time frames where there's nothing happening.
I think.
But if you go with the actual time, you can sync it up.
And this is 12:46 p.m., so it's 9 minutes since he left that Costco parking lot. And like you said, by the way, these two parking lots, the Costco and this Albertsons, are just separated by a road. So he's sort of driven away and come back.
Right.
Now, he walks out
because he just knows he needs to be in a major shopping center on a Sunday and on footage. It's not like he desperately needed a cup of Joe.
Here, let's go to the next video where he's going to walk into frame, because he's walking in. There he is, walking into the Albertsons. We're getting a lot.
I don't like his gait
now to seeing him up close and personal. This is 12:49
down an aisle,
and you can clearly see that this is the same person who was walking through the parking lot. So it's easy to match that.
I don't trust his gait.
That previous clip was also in the same 12:49. It was when I think 12:46 is when he
pulled
it's
10
in.
minutes from Pullman.
Because
I thought she said right when it started. Now this Costco is 30 something minutes, and so if it's right across the street, I'm assuming this is also 30 something minutes. It kind of is like he has a little bit of birthing hips. Yeah, I don't like his gait. I think he is a little hunched forward, and because we see it even when he was awkwardly cleaning his prison Crocs. Oh, then did Ashley, unless I misheard, I swear I heard Ashley say it was about like 30 something minutes. I trust you though. I think it's a grocery neat noodle.
Match up right with each other. So he goes around and then he comes around to the self-checkout. You literally see him move I don't know if you guys play that part, but he moves the bottle in front of the machine and it registers. And
play the next video as Gray is talking. I just want to make sure that we follow you and what you're saying, Gray. So here is the next video, Gray. You said he walked over to the left-hand side where there were coffee drinks, and there he is at the self-checkout on the left-hand side of the screen.
He went to all three places for one free cup of coffee, which he could have gotten anywhere, but he wanted to be seen at a store that he knows is going to be recording. That's true, coffee and skeletons. We don't either, neat noodle.
walking. You can see the light shirt, dark pants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you could see he put it next to the machine
Hi,
and registered
Kenny.
it. Now he's putting a card or something right there, and he's going to pay for it, and he puts it in the
The
bag.
time, it was like 12:40-ish a.m. I'm sorry, 12:40-ish p.m., not a.m.
In a moment here, and
He's in the store
then just walks
for
out
7
nonchalantly.
minutes.
So maybe
Yeah, he's in the store for
12:48.
7 minutes total. It comes out with a
Mhm.
bag, and I think what you had mentioned was the coffee drink, which made me wonder: was he going into the Costco? And by the way, I can't help but just note that this is like the first close up, of his face as he's walking by this camera in the Albertsons. And I think we've got a slow down version of it, so you just sort of catch it a little bit better. I just see this is a guy who just doesn't seem to be concerned about anything, and it is astounding to see all these people who crossed paths.
What do you see in his face? Is there anything that stands out to you guys? That too, J13. His eyebrows. Yep. YouTube bad actors. Yep. Emily Pickles. Even in the grainy footage, I think it's less his eyebrows personally and more that he has a very pronounced eyebrow ridge, like the arc and the eyebrow ridge. The differences that males and females have with their faces, one of the things is the eyebrow ridge. And I think he has a very pronounced. So it's not so much that it's like bushy brows versus a very pronounced eyebrow ridge, which makes his eyes appear more sunken in. And look, even in the camera, it pulls up that shadow because it is more pronounced. Yeah, very stern ridge. Yes. Yes, exactly like Ted Danson. Yes. Oh, what a good example.
The people are like really nice. Like everybody knows my name.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
That honestly completely defeated the point, because when you said Ted Danson, I was like, yeah, I have Ted Danson in my StreamYard, only to realize, no, I overlaid Letitia onto each Ted Danson. So it defeated the purpose, so I apologize. But yes, just like Ted Danson, you have that very pronounced eyebrow ridge.
With a maniacal killer having no idea who was in their midst. All the while, they were all about to find out about the hell.
See the eyebrows,
in the town just 30 minutes away. But he's walking away, and I guess the assumption is that he wanted to go to Costco to get this coffee drink. Maybe
dear Lord, it doesn't even look like he has eyes right here. It's just like black rectangles. You know what I mean? Like just boop. Hi, Chief. Chocolate. They are very. Yeah, now I'm going to replace Ted. I don't want to do Ted dirty like that.
drove right by Kate's, didn't realize it was open maybe, and then ended up at this Albertsons to get whatever it is in that bag and maybe the coffee drink.
I wonder if at Kate's Cup of Joe they have a
grocery.
break time, They have to have lunch too. So it's possible he was there, but it'd be kind of stupid to take a break right when most people want to go get a coffee, like right during their lunchtime.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so it's
So
kind of
now
like,
he leaves the store.
Yep.
He leaves the store. He leaves the store at 12:58, and this is him again heading back out across the Albertsons parking lot with that bag.
You know what I'm thinking actually now? I in my mind when I originally saw his outfit, I was like, okay, like that was normal for his TA, but it was Sunday. So now that I know his pockets are inside out, I kind of wonder if this was an outfit he had maybe on Friday and taken off. And now, but because like in that thumbs up photo that he took around 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. or maybe 10:30, it was right after he had just done the pass by 11:22 that morning. It appears like he had just showered. So I don't want to imagine he would put on dirty clothes, but why would he wear, unless it was very normal for him to wear dress pants on a day off? I'm curious if he just picked up his Friday outfit and kind of put it back on.
And heading towards the car. I keep wondering, Gray, if this, where are we in the process of him getting rid of evidence? Has he done it in the 8 hours leading up to this, prior to getting back to his apartment and showering? Is he still got evidence in that car that he plans to ditch? Because he's in Clarkston. He's 33 miles south of Pullman and Moscow here.
Oh, see, he said 33 miles south. I thought it was 30 minutes, but still 33 miles is like 30 minutes. Wait, isn't it? No, more. So this can't be 10 minutes away. I don't know. Don't make me figure that out. I'm not good with directions at all.
Here.
Yeah, my thing is I'm not sure. I'm wondering if
far,
this whole
right?
trip down here because he must have turned his phone off right after he leaves right here at 104. You see it at the top there? It's almost like he turned his phone off. And because it was 4.5 hours later that he turns it on near Johnson, Washington at 5:32 to 5:36. And that's right near where there's this tree that somebody said they saw a white vehicle parked next to. And then when law enforcement went out there, they saw that the earth was disturbed and they checked around with the metal detectors and so forth. And they didn't find anything. If this was like the scouting mission, and then he goes and collects the knife and the clothing at like 5:32, 5:40-ish time frame. And then he
I don't think so, Joyful.
those items and puts it somewhere where he's aware. Now he's scattered out, he puts it there, and then he doesn't turn his phone back on again until 8:30 when he's back in Pullman. So he turned it off during all that crucial time frame. So that's kind of how I'm thinking it's a possibility.
It's fascinating because he gets into that he gets into his car at Albertson's at 104 and sat in the car for 6 minutes before leaving. Or rather, he gets back to the car at 12:58. He leaves the parking lot at 104. So he's 6 minutes in that parking lot. Maybe again on the phone with mother. Don't know, but. For the next 5 hours, as you mentioned so astutely in your videos, he is off the radar.
Thank you.
Great, fantastic journalism, just really great, because this has been so chilling. So many people wondering, what are all the blanks in this story that we didn't learn because there was no trial? And as it were, things are going to drop. Eventually, we will hopefully learn a lot more about what he did, why he did it. We're not there yet, but every little piece is a part of the puzzle.
No, but we're not, because for whatever reason, and I understand them in a sense, I understand why they went with a plea. I don't like the way it was gone about, but I can understand. What I don't understand is not ensuring he shared where the murder weapon was in order to get the plea. It's, not even to go into great detail of why, this, that, explain, give me every specific. Nope. Something as simple as you want a plea deal, give up where the murder weapon is. I think he would have destroyed any evidence he had other than the weapon. I think knowing how Bryan studied this, and did you guys see the videos he was watching on YouTube? It was the same videos we watch, guys. I think it would have been obviously his token, right? So I don't think he would have destroyed the weapon versus put the weapon somewhere that it could be later recovered as his memento. Oh, thank you. Mary Ellie, so sweet. A long time we dressed up very, you know what? And I don't disagree, Joyful Dolphin, but not current day. Like I don't see that being as common currently in our society, but it might not be unusual for Bryan, because it seemed like Bryan was very specific with many things. And so there's a good chance that it wasn't abnormal for him to dress in his Sunday best, even though it was not for the purposes of going to church. To know what they were planning on asking BK's parents and family. Oh, well, I would still like to know if his sister tipped them off. Do you think he did something to the Idaho 4? Well, I know he did. And I'm not just saying he confessed as if I'm the type of person where, oh, that's it. You say it, it's true. But there is a substantial amount of evidence to corroborate his admission too. There have been times where someone has falsely confessed, so I know that that's possible, but not in this scenario. He absolutely took the lives of those 4 beautiful people. Yeah, I want to see the stuff where he did you? I just the other day, and I haven't been live in weeks, but I still got notified the other day of on my Kim videos saying that she was right about everything. And so I got to schedule one last live to address this Kim stuff, because I've told you guys before that I have consistently gotten these comments, and I do not understand for the life of me how people are walking away with the situation we're in now thinking Kim was right, really, about anything. And it's amazing how people have this ability to pick and choose only pieces that fit their narrative. So if I say 10 different things and one of those things end up being legit, you have no problem disregarding the 9 things that were false, because one thing supports what you want to believe. The same way a broken clock is right twice a day. If I start spitballing 20 different things at you, the likelihood that one ends up actually having occurred isn't so crazy. But with Kim, I don't know how people are disregarding the massive inconsistencies and things that turned out straight up not to be true. And just, oh, well, this part kind of fits with what she said. It's cherry picking to support your narrative, but like so much was completely wrong. But there's like 1 or 2 little things that people are holding on to that can somewhat be contorted into that's what she meant. And I don't understand. I just don't. But all right, I'm going to hop off for now. We're going to continue going through this. It sucks to have to do it without Shay. But hopefully, like I said, her little one's feeling better soon, and we're going to do the next one together. But I have missed you all so much, and I really appreciate you guys all being here. And I look forward to the next one, and we're going to continue with our Wade. We have so many emails that I have to catch up on, and I look forward to that, just to have some laughs and relax. But I want to continue going through everything with Bryan, because I want to try to absorb until it makes sense, and we're not quite there yet. No, I didn't. Baby Lee, that was so kind. Gotta go. Love your work. Thanks for doing that. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. That was very, very kind and generous. Thank you. Oh, that was so nice. But thank you guys. J13, yay. Yes, thank you so much. I will see you guys soon. And so have a wonderful night.